we come to the semi-empirical mass formula to understand the binding energy curve. The binding energy of a nucleus consists of number of contribution from the various terms. So here I have written the different contributions in the binding energy. This is called the BV, that is called the volume term. This is called the BS, that is called the surface term. This is called the BC, that is Coulomb term. This is the symmetry term, and this is the pairing term. Fine. So the total interaction potential here, it is the sum of different terms. So first term, this BV, this is called the density dependent Skirm term, or it is called the volume term. Second, this BS is called the finite range surface dependent term, or it is also called the Yukawa potential. Then we have the Coulomb term, that is called the repulsive Coulomb term. Then we have the symmetry term that distinguish between the protons and the neutrons. And finally we have the pairing term. So all these potential, they are necessary to provide the stability to the nucleus. So binding energy, it is the contribution of the 5 different terms. And when we derive the relation of these terms, so we get the volume term that comes out to be directly proportional to mass number A. Then we have surface term that is directly proportional to A is to power 2 by 3. Then Coulomb term, it depends on both Z and A. Z is the number of protons and A is the number of nucleons. So it is equal to Z into Z minus 1 into A is to power minus 1 by 3. Then we have the symmetry potential or symmetry term. It also depends on both A as well as Z. So it is equal to A minus 2Z whole square upon A. And finally the last term, that is the pairing term, it is inversely proportional to A is to power 3 by 4. So these are the here AV, AS, AC, asymmetry and AP. These are the different constants. This AV, it is the volume constant. AS, this is the surface constant. This is the Coulomb constant. Asymmetry, this is the symmetry constant. And AP, this is the pairing constant. So these are the constant values. Now we come to the next nuclear property, that is nuclear angular momentum. Now, as we know that the total angular momentum of the nucleus, which is also called nuclear spin, it is the contribution of the orbital angular momentum as well as the spin angular momentum. Orbital angular momentum, that is due to motion about the center of the nucleus, and spin part, that is due to the motion about its own axis. So here I, that is called the nuclear spin. This is the orbital part and this is the spin part. So for the more clarity, we denote nuclear spin by I and nuclear angular momentum. When we talk about the angular momentum, total angular momentum, then we denote it by J, and when we talk about nuclear spin, then we denote it by I. So nuclear spin, its value is taken to be half, and angular momentum, it is expressed in terms of h cross half into h cross, where h is the Planck's constant. So if we have even number of the nucleons, then there will be even number of the half integral components. Here I will show you half integral components, even number of half integral components. So the total I will take the integral values. So I must be integer. For what? For the even number of the nucleons. For even number of the nucleons, I must be integer. On the other hand, if we have odd number of the nucleons, then odd number of the half integral components. So I can take half integral values. So I must be half integral here. Fine. So what is the selection rule for the nuclear angular momentum? That is, for the odd A nuclei, our nuclear spin is half integral, and for the even A nuclei, our nuclear spin is integral. Okay. So the conclusion is that our nuclear spin, it can be integral, half integral or 0. For the even A nuclei, suppose I take here, this is the even A nuclei, nitrogen 14. So 7 number of protons, 7 number of neutron, and this is even number of nucleons. So for nitrogen, our nuclear spin will be integral. So its value is 1. And for the odd A nuclei, suppose this is helium 3, 2. Okay. So here our nuclear spin, it will be half integral. Fine. So these are the important conclusion of the nuclear angular momentum. So in the next session, we will study about the next nuclear property, that is nuclear electromagnetic moments, nuclear spin and nuclear statistics. Thank you so much.